I'm tired of Lagos, man. Part 3. 2 weekends later, I went to a restaurant in Ikoyi, which Susan and Bucky swore by. Like they'd advised, I went alone and timed my visit to coincide with the Oyabo crowd who came for long Sunday lunch. I found a table, settled in, but didn't order a starter immediately. Instead, I whiled away time sipping a Moscow Mule and rereading Ayobami Adebayo's Stay With Me. I caught the glances of most of the men, and after some time, it seemed I'd lucked out because a man shuffled to my table. He looked exactly my spec, stocky, limp brown hair, plain enough, flaccid belly which jiggled under his t-shirt, and thin K-legs which looked awkward in his shorts and palm slippers. I could see in his eyes that he was nervous, so I smiled. He smiled back. "Hello, may I join you?" I smile my answer, and remember my Aya Agba used to say, sometimes men are like babies who you have to pull by the ear and show the way. He started well. "You're beautiful." Yes. But he didn't continue well after the introductions. His name was Uwe. He was German and an engineer. Somehow, he started talking about formation evaluation and reservoir simulation while I smiled and pretended not to be bored. And honestly, I didn't mind him being boring and having no game. I begun to think he was perfect, but the universe had other ideas because 30 minutes later, I noticed a white woman with stunning silver blonde hair come in and scan the room till her eyes locked on Uwe and me. As she strung her face, I knew immediately she was his wife or girlfriend. She strode towards us, and I thought, Mabi, which can wallaby this? Luckily, he spotted her, jumped awkwardly to his feet, and caught up with her before she reached the table. As he herded her towards the patio and outdoor section of the restaurant to lessen the embarrassment, I heard her berating him in their language, and I was pleased. I refused to fight over a man in public or private. The embarrassment still touched me because other diners noticed what happened, and it killed my chances. I quickly grabbed my things, called for the bill, paid, even though I noticed the waiter had included Yui's half-drunk beer, and left. Anyway, that's the story of how I bought a beer for a man who was trying to deceive me. One day, the universe threw me a curveball in the shape of the Russian. I'd met him when I was an advisor in consumer and industrial markets for one of the Big Four audit firms, and he headed a multinational waste and plastic recycling company. I'd written a market intelligence report for his company through my firm, and 6 months later, it helped his company secure a lucrative contract with the government. To celebrate, he'd insisted on taking everyone involved to dinner, but by then, I'd left the firm for a better-paying rival. He got my number from my former colleagues and called me to join them at a restaurant in VI, but I was home in Bagada and didn't fancy driving back to the island. That was how I got his number, and because I only knew his surname, Mr. Zerdov, I saved it as the Russian. After I'd settled in at my new firm, I wanted the Russian's company to hire us to provide audit and financial services. So I called him and scheduled a meeting for the pitch. I went alone because I didn't want to share any bonus my firm would give for securing a new high net worth client. On the day, I got to his office at Ikoyi early. I presented myself to his secretary, a bony and thin-lipped woman with a bitter smile. "Good afternoon, ma'am. Sheikh Macaulay to see Mr. Zerdov. I have an appointment." "Ah, I remember you." She sized me up for a moment, then whispered, "Still Ms. Macaulay? Is that a problem?" She half sneered. "Don't worry. God will do it for you." As I considered telling her that God should first focus on fixing her stupidity, the Russian opened the door of his office, poked his head out, and beamed. Sheik, cool me. He was grizzled, had stubble and gray eyes which crinkled when he smiled, and he smiled a lot. His handshake was firm, and he held my hand for a moment and accused me in his halting English. "You only get big contract, but you disappear before I thank you." "What?" Without missing a beat, I said, "I know how you can thank me. Give my firm some work." He chuckled. "It's not just about thanking me. It's in your company's best interests to use my new firm. Allow me to show you why. Sit." He pointed to a chair. We sat on opposite sides of his desk, and he listened as I delivered my carefully rehearsed spiel. When I was done, He flicked through my firm's glossy brochure. Then he drummed his fingers on his desk and furrowed his brow. Let me think this, okay? Yes, sir. I said this in Russian. He looked bemused. Why you speak Russian? I said the truth. I learned some Russian phrases from YouTube, hoping to impress you and seal this deal. His hearty laughter threw his head back and made his shoulders dance. He wiped tears from his eyes, leaned forward, and whispered, I'm Ukrainian. There was little I could do but laugh at myself. I was laughing when he asked, You have boyfriend? What? Boyfriend? You have? No. Guji, have dinner. With me. Please. You're my client. Okay, not yet my client, but you understand what I mean? It's unprofess. I exhaled. I'm not sure of the word for it. I understand. Easy solution. He used a pen to mark a big X on my firm's brochure. I say no to proposal. So I'm not client. No more problem. He smiled. So dinner? I pointed to the brochure. I think you should reconsider my proposal. He glanced at it and shrugged. I have friends in other companies. I help you get them as client. I promise. Dinner. Wait. This is unexpected. I don't know anything about you. What you want to know? Ask. Your first name? He smiled. Apostle. Apostle? Like the title. He chuckled as he spelled it. Means same thing. But is my name? Next question. I don't know. Don't you have a wife or girlfriend or something? No, what? His eyes smiled. I tell you at dinner. At that moment, I remember my Aya Agba's saying about finding what you've searched for in faraway Sokoto. Right there in your Shokoto.